Hey guys, thanks for sending over the space that you guys need for the sports area. So combined with the more accurate site survey that we have now, and that information from you, I've mocked up here this um, critical open area need for sports, 16 by 20 and the 6 by 40, but also sort of the zone you'd like to have as well in the yellow, which would be the 20 by 25 and the 48 by 9. So if we look at that um, space requirement on the site adjacent to the house and adjacent to the property lines and all that, it's a lot of space. Um, it's not untenable, and certainly we can also look at doing an option like perhaps this. Oops, grabbed the wrong thing. Where it's rotated instead. Here the colors aren't quite the same, but still the space more or less fits. You can get the 16 by 20 or 16 by 25 almost between the curved wall here. Um, and then certainly this length fits. But I mean, this does not work. So I think this is almost the only thing that really works for this open space is to look at this one here, which again, oops, has your really as much space as you want. This is wide open. If we move the hot tub from this location here, uh, somewhere over here, I think we've got plenty of room. Now, the trouble is, and I know this is pretty messy, it's so rough, there's things everywhere. I still really want to maintain the pergola on the center of the doors here. I explored breaking from that constraint and saying, well, let's move the pergola all the way down to the other end as a visual anchor here, where you're sitting at your family room across from your TV, perhaps, and you're looking out there. Perhaps the pergola could have been over there. It just felt too disjointed, and it felt like it had no relationship at all with the existing back wall here. So it's a little bit tight if we leave all of this open space, but I think it could work. I think we could work with the hot tub over here. Maybe it's at an angle, maybe not. That can be toyed with. I think first and foremost, we need to decide on space planning. But maybe the hot tub goes here and relates to this existing curved wall that you have. Because it's not unattractive. It's got some plantings in it. It's got a tree that's going to be mature. Um, and maybe this becomes sort of a seat wall, and we turn it into a feature that the hot tub relates to. And maybe a bench element dies into that. Maybe we incorporate some more curves. I know this is already stone, so it feels terrible to tear up the stone and put more new stone. So maybe we do go with something that's a bit more woodsy here, just to contrast the surrounding stone. Perhaps. I'm open to exploring this with you. Um, Another option is to, remove this area. And then we've got a lot more open space for perhaps the fire pit and the hot tub to work. We still have to maintain the 7-foot clear easement, but I'd like to see if you guys are open to this idea at all, if this has any merit to you or is worth obviously further exploration. Again, so very rough here, so very initial. The trouble is, regardless of what shape we do with the deck or the hot tub or anything in this zone, is it doesn't leave much room for the fire pit zone to bridge between the hot tub and the pergola, the covered pergola spot. And that's a bit of a shame, but I think perhaps it's okay to have, fire and water flanking the pergola space. I think it's still a nice zone. This doesn't impede, I think, too much on your open space. Certainly, we could decide whether or not this, maybe this big stone if we still even want this as a concept anymore, um, doesn't impede into this yellow larger practice area. Um, but taking this away to stop delineating that zone, actually, this almost looks like it fits kind of nice. It doesn't quite fit perfectly with the paving that you have, so I think the paving warrants being redone. But that's almost a perfect central spot in that existing curve, isn't it? Um, Yeah, and again, we don't have to do this idea of angling it. We can unangle it, try to do something here maybe closer to this line of bamboo, but then it's just there's not really room for. Well, I mean, maybe it can kind of work. It could maybe work. Obviously this piece here would have to move and become some sort of other. Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe this has some promise. Actually, hold on, because maybe this becomes some sort of intermediate buffer between. No, it's too cramped right now. I need to think about this some more. Well, still, I wanted to let you know that I received your email. That this area is big, so it's good that you're bringing it up. Just to show you what happens if we move this over, free up the fire pit to move over here. Maybe the hot tub can be sort of more in this zone. Maybe this is hidden for now. I just want to show you that it just really doesn't make sense from the family room to see this guy off center. And sure, it seems fine, like in perspective, right? When you're sitting on the couch and you look out, hey, it actually occupies more of your peripheral vision. But I think when you're out here, it would feel very sort of ad hoc. All right, guys. Well, let's schedule a time where we can review your feedback. I know this is so rough, but hopefully seeing some of this visual will give you guys something to react to in terms of how we want to allocate these three zones, because that's really going to drive the design efforts, is knowing where each zone goes. Then we'll focus on final details.